Good afternoon and welcome to the briefing with the board of directors of GemForMe Group and the head of the team of developers, which was hosted on Monday, May 16th of 2022. My name is Oleg Lipovetsky and I will be translating on behalf of all the speakers today. Valery Ostrikov speaking. Good afternoon, dear colleagues and friends, and welcome to our weekly conference today featuring our traditional briefing with the board of directors, where we will answer all of your hottest questions. We'll also conduct the first stage of the spring lottery, and we'll find out the very few winners, as well as the head of our development team will be presenting today. And without any further ado, I am now passing the word to Vague Zakharyan, the head of our team of developers, to begin the conference today. Vague Zakharyan speaking. Good afternoon, dear colleagues and friends. My name is Vague Zakharyan and I'm the head of the development of GemForMe Messenger and ecosystem, and today I will discuss its latest notions as well as our future plans for the remainder of 2022, what we have already accomplished over the course of the past few weeks, of course. We will also cover the upcoming releases and will answer the most recent questions that we received from you. The last 4 weeks were quite productive for our ecosystem, and we do have some very exciting news to share. Firstly, I would like to go over the news and particular aspects that I will cover in much detail today, as this time we are making big progress in terms of eliminating errors and overall fluidity of our application, as our previous update introduced many upgrades in terms of technological background. While today, we will discuss our release on April 24th, which is already available. Please make sure to update your devices, as we will summarize the instruction that was included and we haven't discussed them in detail just yet. Mainly, the release included the 3 core introductions, which were donations, comments, and voice call recording. We will also briefly discuss the release on May 18th and the release on June 8th. Let's now discuss the more major features that were launched recently. Firstly, the comments and channels functionality. Those who have not used our beta version yet can see how this functionality is presented on this slide now and in the application as well. A new menu function is introduced to allow actions to a particular message, and once a user clicks on a separate screen with all the comments will open. The functionality is rather straightforward and very easy to use. While we did receive some feedback already for the improvement of our beta testers, and we have also implemented those minimal changes, while we will continue to further improving and maintaining this feature in the coming few releases in the future. So how does it work exactly? Each message receives an additional action in the sub-menu, as depicted on the slide, to add a comment. This is how the iOS platform depicts this feature and how it implements it after the comment is typed out and posted. Moreover, the message bubble itself will contain an additional comment feature too. So please note that at this time, comments are operational in group chats and in public channels. And the screenshot in the middle depicts what it would look like if a particular message does not have a comment yet. If there are comments, there will be counters of total comments and text comments, as well as comments supports emojis, pictures, and GIF formats as well. And yet another interesting functionality that is now available in this release for both common users and especially for bloggers is donations in channels. At this time, we are working on implementing monetization for various purposes within our application, and users can already monetize their channels currently. As you can see on the slide, the edit screen of a channel offers a new field where a blogger can insert a direct link for a donation to be made. The field is optional, although when an owner completes this field, subscribers of their channels will see a new button to make a donation on the channel, as it is depicted on the screenshot in the middle. When pressing this button, a user will be directed to the link that the blogger had depicted, meaning that at this time, any channel owner can use any existing system for donations and monetary transfers with no restrictions. While our top priority remains to be stabilization and correction of errors in the application in this regard, and we do receive a lot of feedback from our users and beta testers, which always helps us to further improve the application and smooth its operation. We do devote extensive time strictly to stabilization after major functionalities like such are introduced. Now, the middle screenshot depicts what a subscriber sees in the channel with donations turned on. On the top of the screen, you can find the heart icon with $1. And if donations are turned on in the channel, by pressing the button, a user will be directed to the donation page of the particular service that the blogger is using. Moreover, at this time, we chose not to develop our own mechanisms for donations internally within our ecosystem and instead chose to use some of the largest and most popular services that process donations today. Moreover, all popular bloggers already use one of these services, which is why we chose to integrate such services into our platform for the convenience of our bloggers. Any blogger is able to simply choose their preferred service with no additional registrations or hassles, as it all will be processed on the existing systems. However, in the future, once we establish a solid foundation of popular bloggers in our ecosystem, we of course will introduce our own donation system with additional discounts, lower commission rates than competition does. While connecting donation services is rather easy, and it is just another step of a process, as you can see on the slide, of us moving forward. Moreover, users are now also able to record voice calls and conferences, which is a very in-demand functionality for both Notions, as there are times when important conversations need to be documented to not lose any information. So by clicking on the top right corner, a user will see all the available actions they have. Once they click Start recording, a new screen will pop up and the user can choose whether they wish to record both video and audio or just the audio, and will need to name the recording for the file accordingly. All participants of the active call will also receive a notification that a recording is now active and an indicator of the recording, as you can see on the screenshot here. In other news, let's now discuss some of the most important introductions of the release scheduled for May 18th. Another important feature that we are implementing is broadcast recording, and the next evolutionary step after voice recording. Our live broadcast functionality is already available in public channels, and once a user finishes their live broadcast, they receive a new screen that allows for them to either publish the recording on their broadcast or leave the broadcast without saving its recording. If they choose to publish the recording, it will simply be published as a next message. Furthermore, lately we've been implementing some visual changes, some of which included new backgrounds for our chats and public channels, which is a rather important feature which adds more individuality to our application. The background can be adjusted, and at this time we will have two backgrounds with more to come shortly. Our classic theme will also remain available for those who prefer it, and we are starting to make our application highly customizable to the needs of each individual user. In other news, this slide depicts all of the introductions expected for May 18th release, featuring live broadcast recording, new backgrounds for chats and channels, a new mechanism of submitting complaints, which is now not via an email anymore, but through our internal system in the ecosystem itself, and the option of deleting own account. The iOS version will also receive live broadcast recording, new backgrounds for chats and channels, and vertical widgets in the catalog of channels. As previously the widget was horizontal, and now they will be vertical, and we've noticed that many users tend to not swipe through the catalog and view all the available options as the result, which is why many would not subscribe and just to the channels presented there. And our analytics tools, we were able to see the issue and resolved it by introducing vertical widgets. While the web version will also receive a live broadcast recording and new backgrounds for our chats and channels. Moreover, the release on June 8th will bring an indicator of message being written in chats, a counter of comments, and an indicator of new comments in channels as well. A user interface update to the My Contact screen for new users, while the iOS will also receive two of those features, and the web as well, with an indicator of messages being written and the counter of comments and an indicator of new comments in the channels. While we still devote extensive time strictly to stabilization after major functionalities are introduced. Moreover, a large amount of functionality is already existing in our ecosystem, which can also be improved and taken to the next level at all times. And we will continue introducing new capabilities to our application that will further sophisticate it and make our application very competitive. While at these points, these were all the news that I wanted to discuss with you. So let's now answer the questions that we received from you. We've tried to hold meetings and video conferences several times now, but certain items did not work, and then other issues arose. When will they be fully functional? Video conferences are already functional at this time. However, if you are experiencing issues with the functionality, we always ask you to please submit detailed feedback to our support service and developers in order for us to address the matter at hand accordingly. It is important for our team to see as much feedback as possible in regards to your specific errors, as we have a large number of users for whom this feature is working with no issues. And we are aware of certain minor bugs at this time that we are addressing currently for this specific feature. I have a Galaxy A10s smartphone. Why is the application still freezing? It does not open channels, and not only channels, I cannot get into MarketSpace at all. It simply does not open and freezes. Once again, please provide us with detailed information and your nickname in our ecosystem, as we've worked on the blocking mechanism in our application for a very long time, and any report of an error allows us to track the specific issue via the users themselves. There are thousands of reasons for such a situation unfolding, and in most cases, the error is most likely caused not by our ecosystem, but rather the device itself. How about hosting our application with a marketplace on a blockchain? Otherwise, how can we make transfers and payments in crypto? At this time in Italy, blockchains appeared for trading, credit, and other digital operations. In regards to blockchain, payments in crypto are not realized in our application at this time, which is why there is no urgent need for the blockchain in our application. When we do begin introducing the wallet feature to our ecosystem for both fiat and cryptocurrencies, we will of course introduce the blockchain system to our application too, and we are already working on this feature at this time and overall monetization in our ecosystem. The question is pertaining to voice calls. One of our users claims that he called a friend but there was no ring at all. What could be the problem in this situation? The most obvious and likely reason for this is that the particular user may have notifications turned off for our Gem4Me on their device. Software today sets privacy settings for all applications that a user downloads, and they have notifications turned off by automation unless the user changes the settings themselves. This is a predetermined functionality to reduce spam and excessive notifications. So please make sure that the user has notifications turned on for our Gem4Me. When will the main functionality start operating normally? Video communication, audio communication. In terms of quality, we are inferior to other applications. Young people do not want to use our application as they do not see anything interesting in it. Moreover, all the functions still do not work perfectly. How can we offer to download the application when everything is still unfinished? We do have certain items that we correct with each consecutive release for the convenience and quality improvement of use for our users. If there are certain items that may not operate in accordance to your individual standards, we would need more information pertaining to the matter in order for more feedback. What does not work, for which user, and when. Once we have all this information, our specialist will be able to address all your inquiries, and they will be always addressed individually. Our users who do submit feedback can also monitor the process of us fixing the particular error, as we publish all the specific technical tasks that we do for each single release. I don't understand much about the technical aspects of creating instant messengers, but don't you think that everything is done very slowly? We started working on downloads, but people are not interested in the messenger yet, especially young people. A lot is still unfinished. For example, in the channels the pictures are somehow elongated, or is it intended that way? In regards to the development speed, you can see the frequency of our releases and the speed at which we receive feedback and correct any errors there may be, our quality of the functionality that we are introducing, and the innovative features as well. We are not behind in terms of development speed, but rather even surpass some of the applications similar to ours today that have multi-billion user bases already. We've also began development of our application later than our competitors, and still, we are not that far behind them. While our team of developers is actually growing each month and new members are joining us monthly, we are also closely working with our marketing department in terms of attracting a younger user base and introducing features that are deemed to be interactive for them. While text translation works in the chat and public channels with general posting, but there is no translation in the article section yet. It is difficult for us to work with translations as we copy and paste them into a translator board on Google Translator. Therefore, please add the translation function to the articles on public channels. Further, when we translate a long text, it is not displayed in the translation. It is a little inconvenient for us to read a long text because the text is combined into one paragraph. So please make the translation the same as the original text. News article translation is already in development and we are striving to launch it by the end of this quarter. We will keep you updated on its progress and will definitely be introduced in our application shortly. We've also integrated an online translation service that is responsible for the instant translations in our ecosystem, which is why certain errors may arise, but as practice shows, most translation services have such errors all the time. When will the weekly conferences be hosted in our application? We have still a few notions that we wish to further improve. Firstly, while the feature is already usable and available, we wish to add live comments to live broadcasts, which are quite essential for our conferences. This is the next stage of our development for this feature and is currently under development. So once introduced, all our meetings and conferences will of course be hosted in our ecosystem. So in conclusion, we are still working hard to bring our application to technologically match and even surpass our competitors, while we also continue working hard to bring our application to perfection. As always, thank you for your feedback as we are able to make our application even better because of it. Thank you for your time, as I am now passing the word to Valery Ostrikov, the member of the Board of Directors. Valery Ostrikov speaking. We would like to thank Vagea and his team of developers as they are continuously conducting hard technological notions to bring our application to the nearest perfection and improve it further. We are currently at a time of major opportunities and we see major opportunities for our project and ecosystem, as our task is to fully take advantage of this time for the project to take a major leap forward. We are not slowing down, but are rather only speeding up. So let's now continue our conference by answering the questions that we received for the Board of Directors. Please discuss in further detail where did the additional 300,000 shares get added from for this sale. Previously, it was stated that 300,000 shares were added to see if the number would be sufficient enough to reach our goals. 50 million of current users, and etc. In 3 months and 10 days, 500,000 shares were sold and we will only gain 2.6 million users. It is evident that this amount of shares will not be sufficient. So is there a mathematical calculation? We do have an appropriate calculation as well, although we would like for you to address your attention to our emission prospect, which lists our stages of the emission precisely. We have already completed the first 2 stages and are now in stage 3. Based on our turnover, the shares that get sold to investors, the funds received from the sale are directed towards development and promotion. If our financing decreases, there are certain expenses that we cannot minimize, such as marketing and development. We maintain expenses that are crucial for the development and future success of our business each month. At this time, we are improving our marketing funnel and are working on raising our retention levels across the world and the effectiveness of our campaigns as well, so we can maintain the user base, and currently we are actually approaching the 30% retention rate. Many partners would like to know and work, but most state that they download the application and not everything works as perfect as they would wish for it to. How should we work on increasing the number of users then? Some users are not too fond of the quality of video calls, voice calls, and channels are still not too impressive to some. How can we attract more users? Channels are continuously being developed and we have new channels added daily, and there are numerous exciting and very popular channels on our application at this time already. While we do have very competitive features coming, some may need improvement, and yet we are already surpassing our competition even at this stage, given that our ecosystem offers within. Our messenger has been on the market for a while. How come not many know of it yet? At this time, our application boasts 31.5 million of current users and is operational in 156 countries of the world. We are also concentrating on Russian region at this time as we see a high rate of conversion and retention there, and are also boosting our marketing campaigns in the specific region too. How can we attract younger and socially active generations to our application? Not many are using our application at this time, and it is exactly the market share that we should conquer. Speakers mentioned their tactics and upcoming innovations, but we need something more creative and enticing. We are always working on innovative features to add to our application, with streaming services being added recently, and we are currently working with our bloggers across the world as well. While our marketing team has a distinct roadmap and is specifically targeting younger users through their advertising. In other news, I wanted to address our strategy and why we are confident that our application will be successful. We design our project and its future development based on the final destination we are aiming to reach, while we continue moving towards that destination and design our project on the continuous basis that adjusts as we move ahead. However, there are still some constant notions that remain unchanged. As of recently, our project is making major leaps forward and is improving quite rapidly, as the growth and value of our project is a distinct insurance policy for shareholders and investors during these uncertain times in the world. Nowadays, stock exchanges across the world are not insured for major losses, and it so happens frequently when stock exchanges set off recessions. While our advantage is in the fact that our company is private placement and our shares win today compared to shares of public companies simply because the value of our shares directly correlates to the value of our product, not with the world economic events, wars, and investor morale, which leads to major losses of stock exchange indexes. Our continuous development and promotion of the project yield growth in its value, and each new valuation we set ourselves more global tasks to accomplish, while our next valuation will include the whole ecosystem of our messenger plus our commercial platform shortly. There's a major growth in the number of freelancers who work strictly for themselves today, and such individuals need a platform that would bridge consumers with their service providers, which is exactly the platform that we are building today with our messenger, commercial platform, and soon to come fintech services. Information today can be monetized through various services that our ecosystem will have and already has some. Our growth metrics are also developed specifically for the large number of users that depend on a platform like ours, and this tendency is seen across the whole world today. So I want to wish you profound weeks full of big earnings and accomplishments, as we are not stopping and we only continue improving and moving ahead, as major introductions are coming to our ecosystem shortly. So on this note, I would like to thank you for your time, as I am now passing the word to Alexander Kachinovsky, the member of the Board of Directors. Alexander Kachinovsky speaking. Greetings once more, dear colleagues and friends, and let's now continue our presentation with the remainder of the questions, followed by our traditional weekly news and the latest promotions, as we have some major changes in this regard, and we will finalize our conference with our very first stage of the Spring Lottery. As you've discussed previously, the buyer of our project will be purchasing two main companies, Gem4me MarketSpace Limited and Waterton Investments Limited. Where can we view the list of shareholders of these companies and their administration, as well as full names of those entities who will be making the decision of when, to whom, and for how much to sell our Gem4me MarketSpace? Which documents depict their official capacity, as more than 40,000 shareholders must be aware of who will be making the decision to sell the project. The board of directors is depicted with all of its members on our main product website at gem4me.com and all of our other websites as well. There are the current members of our board of directors, while we are continuously growing and expanding and developing its major plans of geographical expansion, which is why we may gain new members of the board of directors shortly. And apart from our board of directors, the employees and most active shareholders, known as the president's team, also partake in decision making for all the major future development of our ecosystem, as we host weekly meetings with the President's team and discuss our intended short-term and long-term paths. While the question of the sale of our application will also be discussed with the President's team, and all the options will be weighed appropriately. Shares are being added. Does that mean that the value of one share is decreasing? It was previously mentioned that those who have a smaller CCA, each of their shares is estimated to be worth $1,000. Is this notion depicted in any official documents, as I have CCA 5 and CCA 10 in 2 registries? I've completed all the company's conditions, and does that mean that if I do not meet the company's conditions for the registry 3, the worth of my shares will decrease? Once again, as any venture project, we are legally prohibited from publishing estimates of values of our shares in the future or give any guarantees of sale and timeframes. We are not a financial institution that is legally permitted to guarantee such notions. We can only discuss our progress, where we are headed, and provide examples of similar projects on the market and their values, which we do regularly. In other weekly news, there are currently 31,200,000 of our current users across the whole world, while our marketing team is currently focusing on further effectuating the retention rate in various regions of the world and adjusting our marketing approaches. As part of our generous referral program, each week we summarize the results of the earnings and the work conducted, as well as the weekly earnings of those active partners and investors. As you can see, the geography of those hardworking individuals is quite widespread across the whole world over the course of last week, including many different regions and countries. Our project and business allows to continuously earn serious profits during turbulent times, while others may lose their sources of income. There are opportunities today and even more tomorrow, and our company offers capabilities to continuously earn for active fundraisers and investors. So let's now congratulate 48 investors from 10 countries with earnings of more than €1,000, 22 investors from 8 countries with more than €2,000, 10 investors from 5 countries with more than €5,000, and 2 investors from 2 countries with more than €10,000 earned in just 1 week. And our top earning investor of last week earned €14,900. These are the average profitability rates of our project for those partners and investors who wish to earn not just when the project is finished and is sold, but also while it is currently being finalized and developed. So let's make these amounts even more frequent over the course of final development and during these turbulent times in the world, as who wouldn't want to have such great weekly earnings today? We are confident that this is the time when big amounts can and will be earned, and of course we hope that you are also planning on earning such great amounts over the course of this year with our project. As a reminder, our schedule of conferences for the following few weeks is depicted on the slide, so be sure to submit any questions you may have in order for the board of directors, developers, and the marketing teams to prepare diligent answers. Moreover, we've had a very rapid decrease in the amount of shares left available, as the amount is currently depicted on the slide, and you can also always see the most recent amount of shares available on the slide and in your business centers at all times as well. In other news, we are implementing monetization of our application through public channels, already receiving donations and ads being launched on our market space. Therefore, we recently launched a marathon for the active users who wish to earn by developing their channels on our platform. We will choose 10 most interesting channels based on our opinion between the channels that submit their request, and today is the final day to submit. We will also reward those channels with promotion of them for up to 5,000 followers, and the winners will be announced on May 23rd. A reminder that the main promotion of 2022 so far is still available. It is valid until May 30th of 2022, so be sure to use this marvelous window of opportunity, and if you need a refresher on the terms and conditions of this promotion, please be sure to read it on this slide and, of course, in more detail on our website. Furthermore, Let's now discuss how the coefficient of corporate activity works and why it is profitable to purchase shares of our project in its final stage today. We have 3 different registries of our project depicting its 3 stages of development. All of the companies of these registries are combined into one company as of today, Gem4me MarketSpace Limited, with various coefficient of corporate activity amounts. Now, this slide depicts an example breakdown of a shareholder and their CCA in each of the 3 registries for demonstration purposes. The reason for purchasing shares during the final stage of our project's development is because all of the shareholder profits at the time the application is sold will be split into 2 50% equal halves. The first 50% half of the sale amount, most importantly, any amount of shares of the 3rd stage increases your CCA for all the 3 registries at once. So, the more shares and higher the CCA as a shareholder you have during the 3rd stage, the higher your ratio of profit will be for the other 2 registries as well. So let's now apply our current promotion to the equation. By purchasing shares of the 3rd stage of our project, the investors' coefficient of corporate activity will increase in the 3rd registry, the 2nd registry, and the 1st registry all at the same time. As the result, we are introducing the average CCA, which will increase the more shares an investor has with the highest CCA. This stands for the coefficient of corporate activity of all 3 stages and the amount of shares a shareholder has in each particular stage. So the more shares a shareholder has with the higher CCA, as is this example is Registry 2 with CCA 8, the average CCA can be calculated to 7.17. And the formula for calculating such is also depicted on the slide, which you could always use in your own calculations for your reference. Therefore, by using this limited time promotion, shareholders can max out their CCAs at all 3 registries, resulting in maximized profits from the 50% half meant for CCA profit distribution after the particular sale. Now, this is a unique opportunity as the amount of shares owned in those 2 registries cannot be changed and increased anymore as the registries are sealed, but the coefficient of corporate activity can still increase. Which is why your activity that is making a purchase or sponsoring the sale of a package during the 3rd stage can drastically increase the total profitability that you will receive once the project is realized. As a reminder, the recently introduced double CCA promotion is still valid up until May 17th of 2022, so the time frame is closing up very fast. In other news, we are very excited to remind you of the CCA 10 bonus package of shares promotion, during which partners who have or will achieve CCA 10 for the 2nd time when making purchases of new shares of Gem4me MarketSpace Limited do receive an additional bonus of shares in accordance to the breakdown depicted on the slide, and this promotion is also valid until May 30th of 2022. The Pay with Crypto and Receive Cashback promotion is still available, during which, when you pay for any packages of shares and business support using encrypted currencies such as Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Tether, you will receive cashback in the amount of 10%. However, please note that this is a temporary amount of cashback, so be sure to take advantage of this opportunity while it lasts. Further, please note that the Receive an Option 4 promotion will be ending on May 17th at 12 p.m. at GMT plus 3. While starting May 17th, options from the 4th stage will be valid for just 1 month from the moment they were received, and these options do not yield double this coefficient of corporate activity. Additionally, we are all very excited to introduce 1 + 1 = 3 promotion, where when a partner purchases 2 of the same packages of Go, Biz, Premium, and Invest, he or she will receive a 3rd package of the same type for free. The 3rd package is complimentary and includes shares and coefficient of corporate activity for both the buyer and the sponsor, but it does not give personal bonus or career points. Please note that this promotion is valid until May 30th of 2022. Moreover, please welcome the profitable Super Package promotion, with which a purchase of 2 Super Packages yields double the CCA and 2 options to purchase the same Super Packages as well. However, The options cannot be split to smaller packages, and the options also yield double the coefficient as well. While this promotion is also very short, valid until May 30th. And lastly, please note the decrease in the amount of complimentary shares in large packages, where at 20% less complimentary shares will be given starting May 30th of 2022. And a brief reminder that partners and members of VIP Club 5000 have a permanent discount of 10% for all the packages of shares, which started back on November 15th of 2021 and still valid to this day. Also, a special promotion is valid for members of VIP Club 5000 starting from May 16th through November 14th of 2022. When attracting a new partner for the first line with an investment of 10,000 euros or more, the sponsor will receive an additional 50 shares. While when attracting a partner to the first line with an investment of 20,000 euro or more, the sponsor will receive an additional 100 shares. In other news, the VIP Club 5000 meeting will be hosted this Wednesday, May 18th at 6 p.m. at GMT +3. We will have very exciting guests participating in this meeting, so be sure to mark your calendars and not miss this upcoming event. And lastly, our Spring 2022 lottery. Today is our first stage drafting prizes between buyers and their sponsors who have made purchases from May 10th through May 15th. As always, our lottery fund is full of exciting presents. For all partners who purchase or sponsor the purchases of Go, Biz, and Premium packages during the lottery period, they will all partake in this lottery. The lottery tickets are issued to buyers of packages and their sponsors, and each partner can participate in several categories depending on the packages that they purchased. As for the prizes, we have the latest and most cutting-edge devices for each of the three categories, and drafting the prizes per category each week. While for the buyers of Invest, Super, Mega, Giga, and VIP packages, they receive lottery entries in the amount equal to the number of Invest packages in each package they purchase for the potential of winning 100 shares of Gem4Me MarketSpace Limited in each portfolio. And now, each week, we will draft 5 of such portfolios. So let's now get to the very first draft and find out the lucky winners of this week. Traditionally, our first category is drafting prizes between those who purchase the Go packages this week. So let's find out who will be the 2 lucky winners of our first stage and will be getting these marvelous devices today. And the first winner is Rosalia Samigulina from Ufa, Russia. Congratulations to Rosalia, and we are looking forward to your review next week. So let's now find out the second winner of this week in this category, and it is Olga from Krasnodar, Russia. Congratulations, Olga and Rosalia, and we are looking forward to the winners of next week. And now let's move on to the second category for buyers and sponsors of Biz packages. Let's find out who will be lucky enough to win some amazing devices for the second category of this week, as we have 2 winning slots in the Biz category too. So let the drafting roll, and Anna, the first winner is Valentina Poznikova from Khabarovsk, Russia. Now let's find out our second winner in this category today, and it looks to be Yelena Zyryanova from Russia as well. Russia looks to be quite active this week actually, so congratulations to all the lucky winners so far, as it seems that your hard work has paid off and luck smiled at you this time. And now our third category is for buyers and sponsors of premium packages. So let's get right to it, and the drum roll begins. So the first winner in this category is Yulia Kuznetsova from Russia. Congratulations, Yulia. And the last device of this week in this category is taken by Valentina Diadorova from Khabarovsk, Russia. We would like to congratulate all the winners in these 3 categories so far. And now, let's move on to the next and more serious category of Invest, Super, Mega, Giga, and VIP packages, where we gift 5 portfolios of additional 100 shares of Gem4Me MarketSpace Limited each week. So let the drum roll. And the first winner is Mugamed Sultanov from Russia. That is very exciting. Now the second winner this week is Vitalina Podgaleska from Germany. Congratulations, Vitalina! And now, our third lucky winner in this category today seems to be Sergei Kravchenko from Kyrgyzstan. Congratulations, Sergei, and we are always looking forward to all of your reviews. The fourth portfolio of shares this time goes to Aygul Buyzhanova from Moscow, Russia. And our fifth winner this week is Pyotr Remarkevich from Stanford, United States. Congratulations, Perrin, and this is great, as we would like to heartfully congratulate all the lucky winners in all of the categories of our lottery this week, and we wish you lots of activity next week, so even more prizes are won. While on this note, I would like to thank you for your time, wish you profound weeks full of big earnings and accomplishments. Keep up the hard work, and until we meet next time.